It's time to start our second ghost story. Lily of the suburb, no exit. We're in the 20 the 2010s. XX neighborhood. We're in the US. We have desire for acceptance, shape of others' perception. Hell is other people. Ghost world, ghost you. Want to ghost life. Now, the first Lily of the countryside, where Anna and Huifeng escaped together, was in 1990X. So this would so admittedly, if this does follow them, this would be 20 years later, so probably just not. Oh? The footage shook violently. A woman ran through the halls of an abandoned facility alone, armed with only her camera. She turned sharply into her room and then stopped. Jerry? Oh, thank God, Jerry, I thought I'd lost you. Oh, a screeching sound pushed the limits of the TV speakers as a distorted face filled the screen. Jump scare? Our scene was set in a little apartment. Television was the only source of... The television was the only source of light in the room. Uh-oh. The girls are watching horror movies. Comment, te dire adieu? There were orange Halloween lights wrapped around the balcony, but their light barely reached anything outside, let alone made its way inside. Oh! It's French for it hurts to say goodbye. The two college girls cuddling on the couch watched the credits roll, unimpressed. The Lebanese woman pouted in disappointment. Lame! The black woman cuddling her with her frowned as well, mouth nearly hidden behind the massive collar of her oversized gray sweater. What's even scary about this? Don't you get it, Aayla? It's a scary jump scare that's spooky because it doesn't happen in real life, but it did here and they found the creepy footage proof. Yeah, I picked that up. I just don't get why all these found footage directors are obsessed with just filming traditional horror, but with shaky cam. It's like they're not even trying. Wouldn't it be more interesting to actually incorporate it into the narrative? That's why all the good ones are good. Najwa, oh, she's doing the cat face. Oh no. Najwa dramatically draped herself along Aayla's lap. I love it when you speak film mage to me. Oh, shut up. Najwa grinned as she fended off Aayla's playful attacks. It sucks because it's the hot new thing. What's the hot new thing? Everyone jumps in on it to make a quick buck. And that usually makes all the people with no talent come out of the woodwork. Right. That's something the studio era did to modern filmmaking. It's good business right now to follow the leader. It's also good business to put something in a neat little genre. In fact, now that I think about it, everything feels so genrefied these days. It's really aggravating. Puts everyone in little boxes they can't escape from. Najwa stared at Aayla fondly for her entire rant. A goofy smile flashed on her face. She listened quietly, not interrupting once until Aayla was finished. As Aayla was done, she let out a satisfied huff. She smiled triumphantly as if her rant alone had somehow defeated the evil of the studio era. Right. Because of that, I think we should have watched the Saw films again this year. Ew, no! They're so nasty, Najwa. Yeah, but nothing could hope to surpass the genius of the franchise's gruesome games and deep lore. Also, I still can't believe you like the Blair Witch Project. It's so slow. Sorry for liking slow burn? Well, I should show you this one Japanese horror film. The next movie in the recommendation queue began to load. Aayla and Najwa, a couple of 2 years now. always spent their anniversary the same way they spent their first night together, watching horror films. Hell yeah. It all started when they ran into each other on campus, recognizing each other from their Our Space account photos. Really? Oh, okay. Both had joined a group dedicated to Halloween, and they had also shared a distaste for the blue site. They quickly grew close, bonding over all sorts of things like films and fashion and getting into each other's interests. Najwa, being a goth to her core, confessed to Aayla that Halloween, and Aayla, being an aspiring screenwriter to the core, adored the idea of such a symbolic anniversary. It was a match made in heaven. Given the thematics of the holiday. But cute. I love that for them. Aayla rested her head in the crook of Najwa's neck, pulling the blankets closer. Don't you think it's kind of hot? The air conditioner's on full blast. I'm cold. Huh, I don't feel a thing. Is being able to feel the cold a god thing? Duh! It's my superpower. Aayla giggled. The next film began. I know what's going on. Well, tell us. This is exactly like how it was 10 years ago. Listen to me. Do not answer the phone. If you do, you'll... Ah! Just as the protagonist's cell phone lit up, a ringtone went off in the living room. Oh no. It's coming. Ayla's phone. Cautiously, she leaned over to view the caller ID. Who is it? It's Deja. Your little sister? Why is she calling this late? Ayla's shoulders went from tensed to exhausted. Oh no. Don't know, but I'm about to find out. Deja? Oh, hi, Aayla. Immediately, Aayla could tell Deja was trying to hide something, just by the rushed tone of her voice. What did you do? I didn't do anything. Deja, where are you? Aayla could make out muffled music and people talking. She picked up Najwa's phone and checked the time in disbelief. You're still at that party you said you were going to, aren't you? Someone's in trouble. Deja, you know when you're supposed to be at home. I'm surprised you're even getting away with this. You know how Mom works late and Dad falls asleep really early after work while watching his movie of the day. All I had to do was send him a text that I was coming home right before he knocked out. Oh, I get it. So you want me and Najwa to come pick you up and rush you over before Mom gets home because walking would take too long. Deja laughed nervously again. Is she coming? Someone else's voice could be heard on the other end of the line. It sounded like they seemed to be right by Deja. Yeah, she is. Hey, I heard that. I didn't agree to... Thanks, sis. Love you, bye. Uh-oh. How many people are we driving home? Deja hung up. Aayla pulled her phone away from her ear and stared at the wallpaper. Pinched the bridge of her nose and sighed. Oh my god. Najwa patted Ayla's back. It's okay. I don't have any problems with driving out there. I want to see how Deja's doing anyways. I haven't seen her since she came over for our last vampire session 4 months ago. Thanks, babe. Oh. Najwa got up from the couch and grabbed their keys off the kitchen island. Maybe let me put on my fishnets. You're taking the time to put those on this late at night? How many times I gotta tell you? It's a lifestyle, madam. Ayla smiled fondly as Najwa disappeared into their room. Such a weird ass. Oh. Ayla reluctantly got up as well, taking her phone with her. Address is in, GPS lady is talking, let's go. So, this is the neighborhood you grew up in, huh? I finally get to see it. Oh, I didn't grow up in it. Only said I lived there before. Huh? You didn't grow up there? Did you grow up in your old neighborhood? Yeah. Mom and Dad still live there too. Does your family own the house? Yeah. The mortgage got paid off a long time ago. Oh no. She doesn't know. Najwa, she does not know. The horrors of housing. I mean, they're adults living on their own now, so they have some idea, but... Wow, that sounds like a dream. We did rent one house for a while when I was growing up, but we started moving a lot during the recession. Someone in your family lose their job too? Yeah, my dad did. So did mine. Is it depressing? Let's talk about something else. Sorry to let you down, but there's something important gnawing at me, actually. What is it? I'm worried there's more to Deja's story. Why? It's where the kid asked Deja if we were coming. This might be about to become a clown car. Oh, great. I don't know if I'm able to handle teenagers aside from your sister. They start acting like little shits, I'm just gonna tell them to walk. Please don't embarrass Deja like that. I mean, her car, she has every right to. Fine. But only because I love you and Deja. Thank you. Again, I'm sorry. It's fine. I'm just a baby. Oh. They turned onto an intersection. That feel when your goth GF is baby. The street lights glittered amongst the Halloween lights hung up on apartments and storefronts. Aayla leaned back inside, exhaling all the air around her body. I wish Deja wasn't so concerned with pleasing the people around her. I think after this I'm going to talk to her about setting boundaries. Peer pressured into staying at a party. That's interesting dynamics, including having full knowledge on how to manipulate your parents to get away with stuff, like done at the behest of her peers. I suppose we will see. One day she's gonna get dragged into some serious trouble. Yeah, she definitely needs that talk. It's a good thing so far she's only ever been talked into little things, like she saw that splatter film and she cried about it to you on the phone for hours. What do you mean not that serious? That tore my heart in two. That's because you're a good big sister. I love that about you. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Hey, don't try to kiss me when you're driving. Najwa! Najwa pulled away to correct the car's path. The two laughed. Girl, please. Don't scare me like that. The drive continued. A warm feeling poured in Ayla's chest. It wasn't often that Aayla was able to get so close to someone in such a short period. Najwa's sociable personality definitely helped move things along, but even so, Aayla found herself shocked at how easily she let Najwa in. To her, Najwa was like the missing piece in a puzzle. I often find herself filling up these quiet moments between them with fantasies. Recently, she began to think that maybe those fantasies didn't have to be mere fantasies. Hey, Najwa. She tried to ask what was on her mind. Her mouth became dry when Najwa glanced at her through the strands of her pink wig. Never mind. Before Najwa could press the conversation, the GPS interrupted and distracted her. Turn left in. Turn right. Turn right. Whew. Inside a car, on our way to get my sister. Is not a good time for that question. Just hope to find a good time someday. Oh? The big question? The next turn, they encountered a quiet street with walled suburbs on both sides. Turn left. They came up on the entrance to a neighborhood with a community nameplate that read XX. Whoa, fancy, a community nameplate at the entrance. No gate, though? No gate, it's not that fancy. Also, that newly erected nameplate is hiding the fact that a lot of these houses had a scorpion problem until very recently. But Najwa does not need to know about that. Nice. No beep and go to put in. Did you just make a censorship blip noise? Can't drop an F-bomb yet. The rating will go up if I say it more than once, so I need good timing. I'm going to bed after this because we've been watching too many movies. Aww. Did you just verbally say a sad face emoji? As soon as Najwa turned in, something darted in front of the car. He slammed down on the brakes. Oh! That something, a cat, simply looked back at the car as it was flooded by headlights. Come on, dude! Nashua drove forward a little bit, finally scaring the cat off. Holy shit! There's a lot of feral cats here. Are there? You know, I heard it's best to get all those ferals off the streets. I know. Deja talks our mom's ear off about that fact all the time because she wants a cat. Her mom says no every time. Doesn't want to get into trouble with the landlord. Ah, that sucks. The car fell silent as Najwa focused on where she was going. Aayla stared out the window, her tired head pressed up against the glass. Oh. House upon house rolled past them, some still glittering with decorations, some out for the night, some completely undecorated and eerily silent. There were very few children walking around trick-or-treating. What little clusters remained were all clearly tuckered out. When there was movement, it was usually one of the aforementioned cats. Aayla felt herself start to zone out. Consciousness moved out of her body, past the window and onto the sidewalk. It's like watching a film starring herself. Lighting was dyed in orange and red hues like the world was bleeding. An apparition shaped like her younger self was sulking as she walked. And to start panicking and running, sprinting faster and faster in one long continuous shot. Your destination is on the right. Ah! His head went flying off the window, strands of hair plastered her sweaty skin. She brought the car to a stop in front of the rather large house and looked at her. Babe, you okay? Gasped for air replaced the now-cut engine as Aayla tried to gather herself again. I'm fine. Najwa wasn't convinced. Aayla could see it in her eyes. Oh, please don't ask. Not now. Najwa hesitantly opened her mouth to say something, but was interrupted by tapping at the passenger side window. It's the Uber. Deja was there! Oh! Child! With two other costumed teenagers behind her, they appeared to be fraternal twins. Her nervous smile had said everything. Oh no. Aayla sighed and rolled down the window with the manual crank. Her voice was completely flat and devoid of tone. Deja? Hi Aayla, hi Najwa. We all have to go home really soon, like right now. One of the twins, a boy, shifted behind Deja uncomfortably. The girl crossed her arms and huffed. Look, I'm sorry, could you guys please do this for me? We didn't mean to stay for so long, I swear. Oh, Najwa was frowning deeper than Aayla. I've got no problem bringing you home, Deja, but that backseat can only fit so many people. Are you three fine with squeezing? Najwa sighed. Yeah, that's fine. That's okay. The male twin peeked in to take a look at the back. His eyes fell on the middle seat, which is much less a seat and more a divider. I'll take the middle seat. Are you sure? You're kind of tall. It's okay. It's not like there's a ton of bumps on the way home or anything. Okay, don't crack your skull open or it's my problem. Najwa unlocked the doors. Male twin got in first and awkwardly sat himself in the middle, head bent down. Deja followed after. Female twin, who was still silent, got in on the other side swiftly and shut the door hard. What's her problem? Najwa held her phone out in the back seat. Address, please. Neither of the twins moved to take it. The girl wasn't even paying attention. Hello? Yeah, I'll get it. Hang on. Boy took it, input the address after a bit of fumbling, and returned it to Najwa. Go straight. So, what are you guys supposed to be? I was a cat, but I wiped off my face paint. It was getting itchy. I'm a devil. See my horns? Wow. And you? The girl said nothing when Najwa glanced at her in the rearview mirror, only gesturing at her witch hat. Najwa forced a smile. Right, a candy corn witch. That's a pretty popular costume these days, huh? Kids want to hear some Christian rock? You're a Christian? Yeah, I'm a Maronite. Must be hard to believe with the clothes I'm wearing, huh? I have some CDs Dad gave me as a college present. Seriously? Yeah, seriously. Me and Mom were a little bit worried about my hobbies, even though I keep telling them God comes first. Oh, that sucks. At least you got some free CDs out of it. Najwa leaned toward Aayla and whispered as quietly as possible. I like this one. I like this one too. Oh? That sounds like something our dad would do, right? The boy tried to get his sister to respond, but she continued to huff and dig the tips of her shoes into the back of Najwa's seat. Oh no. Anyways. Turn left. Najwa! Deja! Can you put in the CD you like with a medal? Medal? Our dad gets so mad, but... Oh, duh, don't tell him. Yeah, you're right. That's what happens in Vegas. Stays in Vegas. Oh no. Are we sure this girl's so innocent? She is clearly prone to... She is clearly intent on chaos. I don't like that! Turn left. Now she took the CD out of the sleeve and popped it in the player. Okay, which song? You probably only have time for one before your friends get dropped off. The one that's like... The one that's like... Oh, you thought that's your fish. Wow. The whole car erupted in laughter, save for one person. That song is not family-friendly Christian. It's fine, it's fine. Guess they're keeping it all in Vegas or something, right? Aayla, somewhat playfully smacked Najwa's shoulder. I like this song because of how she sings it. It's that good? Yeah. Oh, this band stuff is good. I got some limited edition. Slam with someone's shoe against the car floor abruptly ended the merriment. And turned their attention to the offender. I don't like metal. Party pooper. Well, tough shit. Well, it's majority vote, though, right, Deja? Don't you cave. Turn left. Najwa's hand hovered over the eject button. We are making a lot of left turns here. Never mind, Najwa, sorry. Well, that's okay with you. Seems like we do need to have a talk with Deja about letting people walk all over what she wants. The CD popped out with the soft mechanical noises. Najwa returned it to its sleeve. This time, Aayla leaned in towards Najwa and whispered, I don't like this one. I don't like this one either. You'd think the girl would be the agreeable one while the boy is the jerk. Oh, girls can get so fucking nasty, though. Hey, you stole my F-bomb! I can hear you. What? Najwa sat up straight and poised the driver's seat, taking on a British accent. Who, my lady? My apologies, I'll take care of them right away. The boy snorted while the girl huffed again and rolled her eyes. Your sister's girlfriend's really funny, Deja. She told them. Well, one of them doesn't seem to have a problem with it, at least. There's another talker going to have. I know, right? Isn't she awesome? Am I not awesome? Oh, you're awesome too, Aayla, just a different kind. What kind am I? You're really smart and thoughtful. You can get out and walk. Who cares? You can get out and walk. The girl's persistence in being sour finally won out. The car went silent for good. Najwa tapped her finger on the steering wheel in irritation. Unlike Aayla, Najwa couldn't stand anything like this for long. She was an incredibly justice-oriented person. She always sided with the underdog, no matter what, and made it known. Aayla was sure that, had she not warned Najwa that she did not embarrass Deja, Najwa would have thrown this cruel teenage girl out by now. She's within her right to. My costume is making me uncomfortable. Are we there yet? I'd like to say the same. Starting more shit than what's already been started is a waste of energy when there's gonna be out of here soon. How long do we even have? Aayla glanced at Najwa's phone in the driver's seat cup holder. Najwa must have been thinking the same thing, because Aayla heard her gasp. What the? Every part of Ayla's body turned cold. Turn. Is your internet okay? Your data? Did you run out of data? No, it's a brand new billing cycle. What's wrong? Not sure. Hey, is it just me, or have we been going in circles? Aayla rested her hand against the cool glass again. Her skin was both hot and cold. The world blurred, and so did everyone's voices. Her eyes could only focus on one thing. Light. Oh, the fact that there was nobody outside anymore. Not even a cat. Hey, Aayla. Najwa placed her hand on Ayla's shoulder as she brought the car to a stop and killed the engine. Aayla, hey. Response floated up in Ayla's head and popped like a bubble. It reached the top. Girl manually popped the lock instead of asking Najwa to unlock the car and began to exit in frustration. Hey, where you going? This is stupid. I'm just gonna call someone else. Hey, come back. It's not safe. You heard Deja. Come on. Ah. The girl left anyways, but didn't move past the car. Male twin scooted over to take her seat and leaned in to quietly speak with her. Deja picked over Ayla's seat nervously. Hopefully, it's a matter of Deja is just friends with the guy and not his sister. No, not again. Not again? What not again? Aayla? I'm scared. What's happening? Najwa got out. Deja, you two watch Aayla. You two. Deja, you two. Watch Aayla and stick together. I'm gonna go try and find someone who can help us, alright? Good luck! She shut her door and headed off down the sidewalk. No. Ayla's reaction to Najwa leaving was delayed. Huh? With clammy hands, she opened her own door in an attempt to chase after her, only to collapse the moment both her feet were on the asphalt. Aayla! Oh, shit. Male twin joined Deja, leaving the car to check on Aayla. Ayla's hand tightly gripped the window crank. Little squeaky noises could be heard as she nervously manipulated it back and forth, as if trying to regain control of her own body through it. Deja went down and gripped her shoulders as if she was going to shake Aayla, but she couldn't seem to bring herself to. Aayla looked too fragile. It was like she'd break if Deja tried. Aayla, please, I'm scared. What's wrong? Aayla! Male twin nervously ran a hand through his hair, unsure what to do. Water. Do you guys have water bottles? Do you need water? Water? I don't think she needs water. Voices around Aayla continued to make incomprehensible noise to her. Her eyes slowly adjusting to the darkness, she began to count the cracks in the asphalt. In every fracture was a replayed scene. People ignoring her, people pretending she wasn't there. Oh no, her hopes and dreams of a normal school life scattering into the wind. The scraps flying through an empty afternoon street. Why? Her thoughts were interrupted by a slam on the hood of the car. You? Oh. What'd you do? Down the street. Najwa had gone from looking for the presence of others to shouting for help. Hey! Is there anyone out there? Hello? Help! She stormed up to a random house and began to bang at the garage door, then on the front door. Anyone in there? Please! She banged and banged, her fists slowing until she was weakly pressing them against the wood. Najwa pressed her forehead against it and took a deep breath. Come on, please! She shut her eyes. In the darkness, she mustered what composure she could. Then slowly, she opened her eyes back up and lifted her head. That moment, a strange feeling emanated from the house. You have attracted the attention of something you should not have. It left Najwa with a sensation of being crushed. The fear deeper than terror, unease deeper than despair. She wouldn't have said it was malicious or sinister. Instead, within its thickness laid out something that smelled like doom. Instinct told her only one thing. No. quickly turned away and broke into a run back to the car. She came closer and Najwa could see that something had gone wrong while she was absent. The car hood was banged again. It's that little their fucking smile. You know, the fist banging looked like as if she was about to explode with rage. Can you all get a hold of yourselves? Female twin glared daggers at her brother, then at Deja, then finally at Aayla. I knew we should have just walked back home. But didn't you want to go in the car because your feet were tired? It's not safe to be alone at night. I changed my mind. It should have been obvious I didn't want to go anymore, but you guys just went and got in the car like nothing was wrong. Oh, you're a charmer. For the record, it's not safe to be alone at night for you, Deja. My brother and I have each other. You're the one who goes home alone. It's a little... You're a pussy. Oh, God. Where the twin mocked Deja's words, flipped a switch in Ayla's heart. A hand gripping the window crank squeezed it so tightly it felt like her knuckles would tear through her skin. What the hell's going on here? And Najwa. The female twin whipped around to start berating Najwa next. Don't get me started with you. I think you're so funny. You look like you walked out of the back room of a spirit Halloween. And I'm the one who's supposed to be in a costume here. Aren't you in college? Playtime's over, Grandma. You know, I was thinking you already crossed a line because you started hitting my car. I guess now you just decided to start sprinting past it as far as you can. At least I have interests. Is bitching and moaning your only hobby? For a moment, the girl faltered. Yes, get her ass. Get her ass. The boy was shaking so badly he looked like he was about to fall apart. Like, there's something to be said for get it together. Let's figure something out. But no, when she moves straight from get it together to all y'all are fucking assholes, that's not helping. It says, please stop. This is really, really stupid of you. I'm not going to stop. It's not my fault we're here in some... I don't even know what this is. Her hand fell out and pointed directly at Deja, who still had her hand comfortingly on her sister's shoulders. Huh? It's her fault. If she didn't have that stupid idea to call her sister, then none of this would have happened. Oh, you... Oh, hell no. Hell no. Aayla loved Deja. She was the light of Ayla's life. The fact that she shined so brightly only made Aayla wish to protect that flame with everything she had. Time to kill. I could recall everything about the tumultuous years in the wake of 9/11 at the recession. But Deja was too young to remember any of it. Oh. She never saw their aftermath. She only understood that, for money reasons, Dad was suddenly always at home and Mom had to work a lot, and they had to keep moving. But because of 9/11, everyone had to prove that they loved the flag and the nation even when they didn't. That they were a traitor. But they didn't want her to witness this any further. She wanted Deja to never learn the evils of humanity. On some level, she understood that she was powerless to prevent the bad things in life. Reaching her beloved little sister. It was a ridiculous wish to have. In such a cruel and unforgiving world. I honestly did not make the connection between the general time frame and this moment brought it to the forefront of her mind. Had she abandoned her sister by moving away? Did she make such an awful friend because Aayla wasn't there? Oh, but I'm here right now. Aayla stands up and just putt kicks. Right-hand front window suddenly slid down halfway with a deafening screech. That's enough. Slowly, quivering all the while, even with the support of the open door, Aayla stood up. Deja stood with her, holding onto her torso to keep her steady. You leave my little sister alone, you whiny little shit. The girl seemed taken aback at being stood up to by an unrelated person for the second time. glanced around. Everyone simply stared at her silently. Not even her own brother was coming to her defense. She met Deja's eyes expectantly. The other girl only looked down at her feet. Girl's bottom lip quivered. I see how it is. Fine, whatever. I've had enough of this. She sneered at Deja. We're through. I don't want to see your face on Monday. Aayla glanced at Deja's devastated face. She'd never seen Deja look like this her whole life. Deja. Uncaring of her cruelty, the girl grabbed her brother's hand and started dragging him away. Hey, quit it! What are you doing? We're walking home on our own. That's such a stupid idea. Look at all the fucks I give. I just want to get away from this stupid place. Why have you been such an asshole to me all night? Najwa circled around the car and over to Aayla and Deja. Apathy was written all over her face. Never met such a horrible kid in my entire life. This is what happens when a parent just lets their kid do whatever they want. Aayla didn't respond. She focused on Deja, who was still shocked, her eyes trained on the retreating figures of the twins. Deja? Hey, come here. Just as Aayla moved to hold Deja, a strange whistling noise blew through the air. What was that? What? Najwa got her answer in the form of a white blur. Whoa! It swooped down over the group and grazed their heads like a bird of prey. Ah! Moved far too quickly for any details to be seen, even leaving behind a trail of incomprehensible astral images. Little could be seen, resembled a bird-like apparition trapped in shrink wrap. Whoa! It swooped in for another attack. Aayla quickly grabbed Deja and pulled her down to cover her, shuttering her eyes tightly. You could feel Najwa shield her with her whole body. Twins, who were still somehow arguing when it arrived, were silenced by its cries. What is that? All Aayla could hear was the girl's cry getting abruptly, unnaturally cut off. The boy screamed, calling out her name. No way! No way! No way! No way! No way! Aayla kept her eyes shut and her arms wrapped tightly around her little sister. She heard the boy's footsteps as he broke into a run. Hey, wait! Don't run! Wait! Aayla finally opened her eyes and looked up as best she could with Najwa on top of her. We saw the boy's distant figure as he bolted down the street. Najwa continued to call out for him, but to no avail. Rounded the corner, and then he was gone. It's coming back. Hurry in the car. Come on, Deja. Najwa and Aayla helped the still petrified Deja into the back seat. Once she was safely inside, Najwa jumped over into the driver's seat, and Aayla followed immediately after. The locks clicked. Everyone waited with bated breath, bracing themselves for further attacks. Ooh-wee. And nothing came. There was no more shrieking, no more strange blurs swooping down to attack them. It was as if dead silence. It was as dead silent as it was when they first entered the strange neighborhood. They sat in silence for a little while longer, regaining their bearings. It felt unbearably hot in the car. Nobody moved to open a window. Aayla even kept pulling the crank to its limit to ensure the windows were shut tight. Are you all right, Deja? First one to finally speak up was Najwa. Deja swallowed thickly and nodded, weakly. I'm okay. Najwa then looked to Aayla. She was resting her head against the dashboard, exhausted. You're definitely not okay. What's wrong? You're acting strange ever since we showed up. Aayla peeked out from behind her arms and stared at the fibers of her oversized sweater. The back of her head buzzed with fear and painful memories. Yeah, you've been having, trauma flashbacks almost. Straight up flashbacks, but hesitant to say trauma flashbacks. I've been in this copied neighborhood with no people in it. The original neighborhood's freaked me out ever since. So that's why you wanted to move in with me so badly? Is that why you stopped commuting? The question coming from Deja's mouth caused a spike of guilt to pierce Ayla's heart. She rubbed her thumb against the back of her hand nervously. Najwa leaned in gently, trying not to freak out Aayla as she spoke just as gently. How'd you get out? I mean, you're right here. You couldn't just have been stuck in here forever. I don't know how I got out. Najwa reached her hand out and replaced Ayla's thumb with her own to soothe her. Do you remember what led up to it? Maybe that could give us a clue. Well... Aayla gazed out at the rows of houses. Where they remained washed in darkness, her mind could only see them painted in the colors of the afternoon sun. Once again, the world before her became a film. Her memories were this real, being fed into the projector. Pain, Aayla had always thought, became so much more digestible when you pretended it was all one big movie you once starred in. It was my last year of high school. I had a horrible day. My friends had been acting colder to me lately, but I didn't think too hard about it until it came to a head. They were fed up with me. They told me as much, telling me they couldn't stand even the little things about me. Like how I'd go on and on about movies, or how I was slow. My social group was in shambles. Not only was I betrayed by people I thought cared about me, but they went out of their way to ruin my reputation, too. It's already hard being the new girl again. Walking home. All I could think about was how bad they wanted to go somewhere else, and before I knew it, I was in this place. There's a lot of running, and a lot of crying, and I think at some point I nearly threw up out of fear. I told myself I deserved it for being unwanted, and nearly gave up. I started thinking about how much I missed Mom and Dad and Deja, and the air changed. I tried one last time to leave. I was back when I turned the corner and saw a car. Aayla tugged at a loose strand on her sweater, pulling it until it snapped. She did so, her body returned to the present, as if the snapped strand was the delicate film reel tearing. She could control when and where that old script ended, now. Never told anybody. I thought it was just a dream. I still have nightmares sometimes. I'm sorry for never telling you, Najwa. I know you've always wanted to visit, and I'd just give you silly excuses why we couldn't. That's fine. I'd be scared too if it happened to me. I should have told you too, Deja. Maybe if I did, this wouldn't have happened. Aayla. Conversation petered out. When stewed in the silence, brainstorming a solution. Najwa put her hand on her chin. Saying something, Deja sat up in the car excitedly. Then, maybe this place is like a game lobby or something. Like a game lobby? You mean like in those stupid shooting games? Yeah. She didn't disagree. I played a bunch with the twins, but anyways, between each game you're in an offline lobby, right? Stay in the lobby however long you want. You can even play some solo practice games with just you and your loadout. Deja looked at Aayla expectantly, a huge smile on her face. What? You think I'm making this happen somehow? A little. I swear I don't know what's going on this time. I like my life as it is just fine. But maybe you don't realize you don't like it as much as you think. It's really not me. Even if the things I want to change don't feel anywhere near as earth-shattering as that day, I never wanted to come to this lobby ever again. So I didn't have a thing flying around and snatching people up. Yeah, that's a thing we might have to deal with somewhere down the line, especially if everyone knows that these twins left with us and never got home. They were out of ideas. The dark car was filled with silence again. Nobody said a word. The growing air of despair hanging over them was so thick, it felt like someone would cut it. That... The rearview mirror, Aayla spotted the top of Deja's head, moving rapidly. When she looked back, she saw Deja shaking her head back and forth like she was trying to shake something off of her. Deja? Thing slammed against the hood of the car. Oh, fuck. It's back! It slammed against the car repeatedly, making it shake. Deja screamed. Oh boy, double... I looked around frantically and she noticed the house right next to the car. Let's get out on 3 and make a break for it. Make a break for what? That house. But what happens if we go into the house? I have no idea, but it's better than staying out here. Cold sweat formed in the back of Najwa's neck. Are you sure? Najwa, either that thing breaks through the window and snatches us up, or we hide in a room without any windows at all. Alright. On 3. The trio grabbed the handles of the doors closest to them. 1. Creature swooped down again and hit the car once more. Aayla flinched but continued the countdown with a crack on her voice. 2. 3. The doors flew open. All 3 ran out of the car and onto the lawn, with Najwa sliding over the hood of her car. Najwa and Aayla, smooth Najwa, took one of Deja's hands, each at first, before moving to shield her with their arms wrapped around her shoulders instead. The shrieks of the creature reached their highest pitch. Aayla could sense it closing in on them, the door just within their reach. A split second, Aayla saw the doorknob come within arm's reach. She hesitated. They never considered it might be locked. Hurry! Damn it! Someone grabbed the doorknob. But it wasn't Aayla. It was Najwa, her hand clammy. He wrenched it like she aimed to twist the doorknob right off. The door opened without a hitch. Everyone piled inside. Najwa shut it behind them with a slam that shook it down to the hinges. He frantically locked the deadbolt while Deja and Aayla pressed themselves against the door to brace it. Please don't break through! Najwa too pressed her shoulder against the door. God, when they described Deja moving her head frantically, I was afraid for the moment that, like, she's gonna have some nightmare bugs in her hair or something. We'd have 2 consecutive problems to deal with. Both equally terrifying. It was as if the creature disappeared as soon as they entered, or perhaps it was never as close as they thought at all. Aayla slowly slid down as she gasped for air. Her heart felt like it was going to bounce out of her chest and start running. She leaned her head against the door, staring up at the lit ceiling of the home they entered. The lights? They're on. Her head snapped back down. The pristine living room they were in was fully lit by both lamps and ceiling fixtures. Najwa's head made full turns as she looked around the room. That is not how it looked from the outside. Aayla managed to find the strength to get up again, arms like lead as she hesitantly stepped forward. The living room was fairly ordinary no matter where she went. Just another carbon copy home layout, typical for a suburb like this, filled with soulless markup furniture. One thing, however, was off. Why are all the photos and paintings here so weird? Najwa walked further into the house. Deja nervously came up to Aayla, gripping her sleeve like she was 7 years younger. Aayla's heart twisted with guilt. She couldn't help but be reminded of the look Deja gave her when Aayla was about to leave for a new home. Aayla pulled Deja in for a hug and rubbed her back soothingly. Hey, it's gonna be okay. You guys? Najwa's head peeked out from the hallway she was in. Come look at this. Alright, what do we got? Aayla looked down at Deja with a comforting but hesitant smile before taking her hand and following after Najwa. Home sweet! At the end of the one hallway was a door to somewhere. Najwa looked back at them briefly before opening it. We're in my house. We're in my house, not Wad. Are you kidding? I wish I was. It was like they entered through the front door again. When Aayla looked back, she saw the hallway they were in. She saw the hallway they were in, not the neighborhood outside. Jesus Christ. The 3 entered the duplicate living room, Deja trudging behind Aayla like she was trying to weigh her sister down. Aayla, however, simply gently pulled her forward. Najwa put her hands on her hips and blew out a puff of air that flipped up her bangs. So much for finding a room that has no windows. There are other doors in that hall, right? There's got to be one that at least some kind of weird-ass bathroom. Aayla turned to Deja and bent down a little bit to whisper to her. Deja, you stay here. Sit down or something. We'll be back. If this thing starts looping hardcore, that might not be such a good idea to split up. Deja reluctantly relaxed her grip and did as Aayla asked. Najwa and Aayla entered that living room's hallway. Najwa opened the first door in the hall. Oh god. Shit. Beyond the door was an identical hallway. Najwa immediately closed it. Aayla turned to a different door across from it, opened it, and... Beyond was another living room, identical to the other ones. I'm gonna say, if you see Deja sitting on the couch, then we know that there are several living rooms layered upon each other. If we see Deja when we open the door, we are looping in on ourselves. If we don't see Deja, there are several tiers of living rooms we're dealing with here. I checked each and every door. All were just another part of the loop, infinite and unchanging. Aayla dared to venture further into one of the living rooms, only for a cloying feeling of dread to clog up her throat. She quickly turned around and shut the door behind her with a gasp, backing up to get as much distance from it as possible. What is wrong with this place? Najwa, exasperated, ran a hand through her pink wig so much that it became disheveled. Gosh, maybe it's like, I don't know, grave encounters? How'd that movie end again? Najwa, be fucking for real, this is not a movie. I am for real. What's a stupid question and you know, oh no, this is a bad time and place to fight. How is it a stupid question? What are the references are we supposed to look at in here? Do you want me to search up how to get out of Infinite House on my phone? Just... Najwa bit her lip to stop herself. Sorry. Aayla sighed. No, I should be the one apologizing. I'm sorry. I know I'm not the only one stressed as hell right now. I'm just worried about Deja. Worried if she was being an even more of a screw-up of a sister. Najwa didn't press Aayla to finish her thought, opening instead to pace. Going in deeper is probably just asking for trouble. Yep. I'm just appreciating the mood music here. It's very unsettling. Whenever I hear the in the background, though, my brain is so firmly rotted that whenever I hear the come on. Come on. Do it. Do it. Do it. The duplicate hallways count as rooms with no windows, don't they? Yeah. Yeah, I guess you're right. We can hide in there until morning. Yeah, whenever I hear that little stinger, my brain is so firmly rotted, I can only think of the kitchen nightmares noise. But does morning even come to this place? It was afternoon for what seemed like forever all those years ago. Let's grab Deja and... Maybe we should not have left Deja. The two women immediately breathed one more. Deja! We entered the second living room. Deja was gone. Slamming at the door could be heard from beyond that door leading into the room. Deja! Najwa ran ahead of Aayla and back into the first hallway, and Aayla fretfully followed suit. They both tried door after door. Deja was nowhere to be found. Screeching could be heard near the entrance. Tears gathered in Ayla's eyes. In her mind's eye, she pictured the flame of a candle struggling against the wind. Deja! Aayla, wait! Najwa chased after Aayla as she charged at the front door. was unlocked. The screeches were louder than I'd ever heard before, barely muffled by the banner here the door provided. Even so, Aayla grabbed the knob and turned it. Najwa's hand flew out to stop her, but it was too late. Aayla! The front door no longer led to the neighborhood. Instead, there was another hallway, much different from the ones they had been entering. With no doors and no end in sight, it was almost dizzying to look down directly. The screeching that once seemed so close was now far away. And down the hallway was a sprinting Deja. Deja, no! Come back! Both Aayla and Najwa ran. The front door slammed shut behind them. No matter how fast they went, it felt like they could never catch up to Deja. Please don't take her from me. Don't take my little sister. Burst of unexpected energy took Aayla further. Yes, it felt like she was finally closing in on Deja, and she stretched out her hand to try and grab her. But Deja, too, managed to get farther. Aayla just couldn't catch up. No! Her feet slowed. Oh! And suddenly they were lifted off the ground. Najwa! We're not giving up. Can't run forever, Deja. Najwa once again brought them closer to Deja, who continued to run without stopping. Deja was going to be like that, then Najwa supposed she'd be like that too. He didn't care that her arms were shaking, and Aayla knew she couldn't tell her to stop. Aayla reached out her hand again. When she strained her ears, it almost sounded like there were sobs intermingled with the cries of the ghost, which was nowhere to be seen. That sounds like Deja. The realization struck her, that faint blurring after image was superimposed over Deja. Deja reached the end of the hall and opened the only thing at the end, another door. There was absolutely nothing beyond the door. There was only a void. Deja ran right in, sobbing all the while. Deja! Najwa carried them into the void without hesitation or permission, and Aayla wouldn't have had it any other way. Scene: an apartment complex 6 years ago. The young Deja is walking back home from school to her apartment. She spies a cat out of the corner of her eye and stops. It's preparing to pounce. Deja follows its gaze to see a bird on the end of it. And if Deja so wanted, she could alert the bird so it could flee. However, she remains still, unwilling to interrupt a natural process. The cat lurches. Jeez. Deja looks away at the moment of the kill, but she can hear the bird's wings beat frantically as it struggles, then begin to slow as it dies. She quickly hurries home. I felt bad. I love cats, and it was the only normal thing to happen, but I still felt bad. My nightmares ever since, I am the bird. Get torn open while the real me does nothing and hurries away. Oh, I wake up in a sweat every time it happens. The bird cursed me. It must have. It latched onto me and took the chance to remind me of what I did, whenever possible. I am a child that brings misfortune. Every stray cat I care for. Another cat I pray will ward it away. In the emptiness, one young girl sat in the center of nothing. There was no light, ergo there was no darkness. She was only perceivable because the people who chased after her with all their might knew what she looked like. For their sanity, false, faint light from somewhere on the stage was cast onto the actors. Curled up so tightly she looked like she'd turned into a ball, Deja's heartbreaking cries gradually turned into soft sobs. This is all my fault. She was right, I did all this. Why do I keep screwing up? Aayla was the first to approach her, collapsing next to Deja and throwing her arms around her little sister. She buried her face in Deja's shoulder blade, sweat and tears melting onto the younger girl's shirt. Don't say that about yourself. This isn't your fault. You didn't do anything wrong. I did. I figured it out when you were explaining what happened to you, Aayla. I just didn't want to believe it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I don't know how to turn it off. I know those two left safely, but I don't know how to do it for us. Those two left. Oh, so they didn't? I don't know how I'm doing all this. I only keep making it worse. I don't even know where this is. Deja's voice was mangled by her crying. Najwa approached the sisters, joining them on Deja's unoccupied side. She reached up a hand to start rubbing Deja's back. For what it's worth, I don't think you're a screw-up kid. That stuck-up little brat is the problem. You said to yourself, didn't you? It was her suggestion in the first place to get a ride home. Yeah, but I was the one who said you guys could do it. So? You should have been glad someone was coming, Deja. You shouldn't have started treating you like that. She's really nice when she wants to be, really. Just don't make her mad. It's so easy to not make her mad, and I messed up, and I don't like messing up around her. She was hitting the back of my seat in my car for no good reason. She doesn't usually... That girl even hurts her own family, Deja. I know! Najwa and Aayla were silenced by Deja's sudden outburst. That's a weird thing. That's the thing. Her brother seems nice. She is not. She is miserable. Waited for her to regain her bearings and continue speaking. I don't want her to be mean. She's so pretty when she's nice. Feels like her smile is making me melt away. Brother is so nice. I thought she'd have to be nicer inside too, right? I met you for the first time and saw you holding Ayla's hand, Najwa. I was so excited for that to be me someday. Oh, but I don't think she even thinks of me as a friend. I'm just some weirdo who tries way too hard to suck up to her. A choked sob left Deja's throat. I always hear people whispering about it. Everyone's in their own little group except me. Thought I was different and I could make friends with all sorts of people, but I've never actually really gotten to know anybody aside from the twins. It's so hard to go to school sometimes. I only go because I don't want to stress out Mom and Dad. And I'm going to make everyone mad because I did all of this. Now we're stuck here forever. I don't want to do this anymore. I just want to sleep. I want to sleep and never wake up. Deja! Ayla's voice came out breathlessly shocked. The emptiness was filled with only Deja's crying. It petered out into the whimpers. Eventually all became silent. Aayla cradled her gently. As she stared at her little sister's hand, so small in her own. Picture this candle again. It's my fault. Huh? It's happened because I left you behind. Such a coward. I was only thinking about myself. I looked so lonely when I left. You would keep looking back and forth between me and all the boxes in the back of the car. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. No, Aayla, it's not your fault. It's not your fault, I promise. I'm old enough to make friends on my own now. What? Aayla. Deja gave Aayla a stern look in imitation of the silly stare their father would give whenever they tried to prank him. Sorry. This should have been about you, but you ain't making it about me. It's okay. I always wondered why he looked so sad when he left, but I didn't think about it much anymore. When I saw you were so happy living with Najwa, I never even thought you left me behind. Najwa rubbed Ayla's shoulders, as if to silently tell her girlfriend to give herself a break. Aayla conceded. Silence filled the emptiness. This can't be the end. I was able to leave. There has to be something that will trigger escape, but what? Aayla looked at Najwa, who seemed to be just as deep in thought as her. Suddenly, Najwa spoke. When I was your age, I got bullied too. They come with dumb justifications for why they were doing it, just to make themselves feel like they were in the right. I've been harassed as an adult too. Considering the time period, yes, I can definitely see that. America kind of... I mean, it still kind of sucks, but... America went through a really bad phase after 2001. I say that like it's ever ended or let up or entered a good phase in terms of relations, which it really has not. But it... But... Yeah, when I'm going through a really rough time, I always try to look toward the future. I always try to think about what's waiting for me beyond the pain. Right now it's my dreams, my mom, my dad, members of my family that don't turn their nose up at my hobbies, Aayla, and even you, Deja. Even me? Of course you! I only agreed to this because I wanted to see how you were doing, you know? Can't stop thinking this is all your fault. Just know that even if I knew we were going to get sucked into this world, I'd still come to make sure you were okay. Najwa. Deja began to sniff again. Oh. It's at that moment something clicked in Ayla's mind. What is a possible action is to take? Course through her mind like a current. From saying her own comforting words to Deja to proposing a plan. Ayla moved her lips. Marry me. Something completely different came out. The shock was enough to get Deja to stop crying momentarily. Why are you saying that now? Sorry. It just kind of came out. I was going to say something different, I swear. I swear. I love you, you're crazy. Do you want a honeymoon in Whitby or maybe in Santa Monica? We can go to Harajuku. Wait, slow down. You're the one going fast. Look, it has something to do with what I was trying to do, I think. Just give me a second. Aww. That's the question that Aayla was stumbling over earlier before they got to the party, before they got into any of this mess. I see. The feeling. I'm so glad I was right. Najwa and Aayla both grasped with Deja's surprised laugh, barely audible above their banter. Thanks to that single shining sound, Aayla regained her senses. That's right. I want to get married, Najwa. And Deja, I want you at my wedding. No, I need you. Aayla stopped herself from putting too much pressure on Deja in such a delicate situation. I just need you, okay? You're my little sister, you're my everything, your mom and dad's everything, and we would tear up the whole world to keep you safe. Aayla, I'm gonna get through school. I'll help you until the day you graduate and beyond. Even go back to commuting if I can live, so I can live with you guys again if that's what it takes. Don't let that bitch ruin everything for you. Even her twin seems fed up with her. But not all's lost. But you can still be friends with him to start, right? You're gonna make it. She began to cry again. She buried herself in Ayla's chest and hugged her tight, soaking her sister's turtleneck with tears. The sight brought tears to Ayla's own eyes. I want to see you guys get married. I do. I want to graduate, go to college, and become a vet. I want a cat. I want 2 cats. I'll have 2 cats and a girlfriend. You can come to my wedding. I will, I promise. By the time you get married, I'm sure I'll have a few movies out. Yeah, I'll design you the most beautiful outfit you've ever seen for your wedding. Everyone will be floored. You can even put a cat pattern on it if you want. Deja giggled through her sobs, causing Najwa to grin triumphantly. Now you're just being silly, huh? As the three talked about future plans, a real light had appeared at the far end of the emptiness. And they figured it out. Gradually grew in size as if coming closer. All 3 of them rose on the formless floor. True shadows were cast behind them. Najwa and Aayla took one hand of Deja's each. I think that's the exit. Aayla smiled down at her sister. Are you ready to go now, Deja? Deja hesitated for a moment. Then with a broad smile, she nodded. And I looked at Najwa, and they nodded too before taking a step forward with Deja. I really like this one. I really like this one. The light grew and grew until it engulfed them, and familiar, populated scenery started to melt in before them. Not to take away from the from our first Lily, but I really like this one. I feel like they both, first one and this one, both have really concrete, well thought out plot beats. But somehow the horror device of this one, somehow the horror device of this one is being, I don't know, the horror of this one feels way more well thought out, well developed to me. And it's just, that resolution was amazing, adorable, precious, and made perfect sense in the setting. Perfect sense given everything we know about this false neighborhood that they found themselves stuck in. And it's, guess what I love about that? Yeah, it feels like literally some kind of, I don't want to use the term backrooms. Feels reductive, but it is kind of the way they described it was like a loading lobby of sorts. When you're gripped by the small feeling of going home, but I don't want to go home. You sort of get kicked to this infinite neighborhood. Where everything kind of loops in on itself. And it's hard to say what, I suppose the biggest unconfirmed question mark is what the heck that undefined thing was hunting after them. In Deja's case, since it was Deja's, yes, internalized despair at the hollow friendship with the bratty witch and everything else that's built up over through the years with her that dragged them there. Is that a construct of her motions? Feels like just a general place that you can get pulled into when things are rough and you have a strong desire to. It's like that feeling of intrusive thoughts. You walk by intersection and you're just feeling general malaise about your life, and you start thinking about, wouldn't it be neat if I stepped out of this intersection and got utterly creamed by this bus? Totally not speaking from experience myself or anything. Don't mind me. Just that general malaise, strong discontent is at the core of you sort of being booted to the neighborhood lobby, as if to say back rooms. Neighborhood lobby where all the leftover rooms in the neighborhood are preloaded as testing grounds. Occasionally, if you're haunted by nightmares, you might get pursued by them. Don't know. If I had to make a personal theory about this particular instance, that thing that was fluttering and haunting them is the bird that Deja saw killed and felt terrible about not helping. But it clearly did not actually kill the others it targeted, because, as she said, the other two made it out somehow. Perhaps I'm getting far enough away from them, I don't know. But, alas. Yeah, they... God, I enjoyed the emotional beats and the ending, and just the general adorable interactions of the first game. Of the first story in this here. Even if some of the, like, thinking too deeply about the mechanics of it, like our mysterious author slash folklorist who came there first, met her, met Weifang. Weifang obviously trying to get people to die and stay with her because she's alone, thinks that she can't leave. It ends up, like, my only gripe was that the end feels like it works. It works from an emotional beat that, hey, let's leave together. You will be my ghost GF. It's, I suppose, it's hard to swallow the contrivance of, I could have left all this time. I'd never thought about it. I get it, but from a narrative perspective, it's a little difficult to swallow. But I can't gripe with it because I love the emotional beat of it. I feel real nitpicky when I start saying stuff like that because emotionally, I love it. Like trying to piece together the narrative, it makes me ask questions I don't want to ask because I love it emotionally. That feeling when goes GF. That's when I can come back and say that really the suburbs, I find I really enjoyed this one. Not gonna lie, it's so real, so real. I love that. And God, how accurate a feeling it is. Like the haunting, the horror of this story coming about from just general depression, malaise, discontent, feeling of a life that's just bearing you under its weight of cruelty and unpleasantness, unfairness. When you're hit by those intrusive thoughts of, I don't want to go home, I want to get out, I want to, fed up with this world, get booted to the loading zones, the metaphorical loading zone. Booted via your own emotions, kicked to the lobby, and when it comes time, the resolution, clearly, is that when you find the resolve to keep going again, then you find a destination at the end of this endless wandering. So it makes sense that the end, that getting out of there, required such a strong emotional beat, delivered in an utterly adorable manner that really brought all of their stories collectively together. Really heartwarming. I really enjoyed that one. Alright. It didn't... Yeah, after the first part of this, I didn't really give the first Lily proper talking to a review, so hopefully this counts for both cases. I really enjoyed this, and I really enjoyed the first one. I think I enjoyed this one better. This was just really good. I really like this. And now, Lily of the City. Happiness is the smell of sin. We're jumping into the future here. We've got a whole 6 years until this happens, so get ready. 2030X, XX, Aqua City, Atlantic Ocean. Desire for visibility. Realization one is invisible. Pain of being hidden. Pain of being nothing. Feeling of being a statistic. Oh, I can save here. Alright. Until next time. Until then.